Hello and welcome to Zephyr Training. I'm your host Jeff, and I'm joined today by a brand new partner for Zephyr. It's Clearview Social, and we have today Mike Rausenstrauch, Client Success Manager at Clearview Social. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you. So I just learned about Clearview Social really recently, so I'm coming in with pretty fresh eyes, just like much of our audience. So can you just tell us high level, what is Clearview Social and how does it benefit our agents?
Yeah, so Clearview Social is a tool that will help busy professionals like all of you on the phone to maintain and have a better social media presence with very little effort on your end. So basically, you're going to have a team of admins who on your side will put together what we call a queue email, and they will designate a couple pieces of content on a weekly basis or bi-weekly that they will send to you, and you'll be able to share it to your social media platforms with as little as one click of a button.
Awesome. Sounds like a lot of work saved, just being able to have that sent right to you. That's great. So this is going to be kind of the standard format, and I see a lot of our kind of regular webinar attendees present. So hi to you all again, but I do see some new names for those who haven't joined before. This is totally interactive, so any questions that you have as Mike is going through the demo on the platform, feel free to use either the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen or the chat button to submit your questions, and we'll be sure to either mix those in as we're going through the demo, or we're also going to round them up in the end and have a bit of a Q&A segment, have some tips and tricks to help you get kind of the most of the platform. Should be a pretty quick session as usual. So Mike, when you're ready, feel free to take it away here.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So I'm going to walk you through a quick user training right now. Clearview Social is it's pretty easy platform to use from the user perspective. So I know that Dan has uploaded a lot of you into the platform already, and some of you have already logged in. So this might be a little bit of a review for some, but bear with me because it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So you've already received an email that will look something like this from Dan last week, where it would have came from his name, and the subject of the email would say, "Welcome to Clearview Social." All you have to do to get started in Clearview Social is scroll down into that email, and there's a link about halfway down. You will just click that link, and it's going to pull you into a screen and a little pop-up that will look like, it's not popping up right now because I am already logged into Clearview Social. Essentially what it's going to do is going to pull you into a little screen that's going to let you connect your social media into Clearview Social. So many of you will probably start with your LinkedIns. So you'll just type in your LinkedIn username and password like you were normally logging into the LinkedIn platform. Once that is done, it will pull you into a home screen that looks exactly like this, except for you guys are not admins, so you will not receive these admin tools on the left-hand side. Only your admin team will have that. Once you have your LinkedIn connected, we have the capability to add Facebook and Twitter as well. So once you're logged into Clearview, if you go to the settings button in the bottom left-hand corner, it will allow you to connect your Facebook and Twitter as well by just clicking Connect Twitter and Connect Facebook. And then you will also just type in your credentials as if you were logging in just like you did with LinkedIn. This is a pretty new change to Clearview. So now we actually have the ability for you to add, if you have any personal Facebook pages, to Clearview Social as well. So a Facebook page lives under a Facebook account. So in order to get your page connected, you'll have to connect your Facebook account first. And then once that happens, any Facebook pages that live under your account will show up right here. And you can just simply connect those as well. So getting started is pretty simple and straightforward. Once you are in Clearview Social, the main point of it is to get you guys to share to social media with very little effort. So on a weekly basis, you're going to have your admins who are going to share with you what we call a queue. And I'm going to pull up an example of a queue real quick for you guys in my email. And this is a queue that was sent to me by the owner of our company, Adrian Dayton. And there's a couple things I want you guys to pay attention to in the queue. So just imagine yourself coming into the office on Monday or Tuesday morning, scrolling through your email, and you see an email from Dan that comes through. There will be always a subject to the email, and that subject will always also mirror the title of the queue. And you'll see the name of the admin that sent it out and their image. And it'll probably say, your company's name and logo right here instead of the Clearview Social logo. So simply all you have to do is scroll down in the email to the part where you see the content. So in this specific example, Adrian has 3 articles that he wanted us to share to social media. So as a user, I have 2 separate options. I can either click share all articles, and all 3 of these articles will automatically schedule to any social media that I have connected with one click of the button. It will schedule out using what we call our peak time algorithm, which will share it at the best opportune time per social media platform. So we've had over 5 million posts get shared to social media through our Clearview platform. So we've been able to determine which times and which dates get the best results per social media. So it's just another step that we want to make easier on you guys, so you don't have to worry about, when to schedule these posts. So that is the share all option. The next option is the share button. And that will only share the specific article that is associated with that button. But if you click the share button, you actually have the ability to edit the post before it goes out. And by edit the post, I mean you can determine what social media it goes out to. It'll default to go to all the social media that you have connected. So you can edit that if it's a post that you don't want to go to maybe Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And it also gives you the ability to add a comment. We highly encourage our users to add comments to the post before they go out. Your followers on social media see you guys as the subject matter experts or the thought leaders. So, even if you add a couple words or a sentence or 2, it will go a long way as far as, getting more traction on social media. Is there any questions on the queue itself before I go back into the platform? So just to summarize, you receive a queue, scroll down, you look at the content. You can either click share all for a very fast, simple, one-click way to share to all your social media, or you can click share individually and you can edit the post before they go out.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. And don't have any questions coming in yet about the queue, but we do have this question from Richard about the registration process and cost. And I can answer the first part of that, Richard, too. So if you're interested in getting started with Clearview Social, it's a quick request to marketing@zephyrre.com, and they will set you up with a login. Now, cost, I don't have insight into yet, so I'm wondering if you know, Mike.
Sorry, can you, so he wants to know about the cost of Clearview Social?
Yes.
For your company?
Right. Well, not for the, is there an individual cost, I guess, for each agent that signs up?
No, there's not. So you guys are at our growth tier, so you receive unlimited users. So there is no additional cost to add anybody. You guys can add anybody within your entire organization.
Okay, fantastic. And Samantha asked, will our suggested links be San Francisco based? So she's starting to ask here about the content, whether it'll be tailored to, because we do service San Francisco, the North Bay, and all that. So how does that work as far as targeting the content?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, that might be more geared towards your admins, but you have the ability to, as an admin, you can create separate groups. So if you do that by office, you can send out content that's specific to the San Francisco office or area. You can have an admin who is designated for that territory, however you want to break it down. That's more or less decided on your end rather than Clearview side. But yeah, anything can be shared through Clearview Social that has a link. So there's there's nothing that's going to stop, that type of content to be shared. It just depends on, the admin and how you guys break that down per specific group, whether it's a region or office or what it might be.
Got it. That makes sense as well. And so we're going to have an admin on the marketing team kind of managing that queue, Samantha. So I think it suffice it to say, initially we'll be kind of sharing the content that kind of makes sense for everyone. And then that's only going to get better as far as targeting for different regions and all that kind of down the line. And I think it's important to point out that you're going to be able to have the final say on everything that comes out before it's actually shared out through your social media channels.
Yeah, so nothing will be sent out, or nothing will go to your social media without you physically clicking the share button or share all button. So nothing will automatically be posted. It'll come from your admin. And there was a question about what admins will be sending that out. Dan is your primary admin, so it's up to him to decide if he's adding other admins that will help share that content. So it could come from him, or it could come from, you know, anybody maybe on the marketing team that will have that responsibility.
And Dan's actually sounding off in the chat. He couldn't make it in person, but he's saying that we will have SF and Marin sources. So this has already been thought out.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions on kind of what the queue looks like before we move on?
I think we're good to go for the moment.
All right. So there's a couple screens that will be important to you as users within the Clearview Social platform. The first is the Your Shares page, which is in the top left-hand corner. And this is important for a couple specific reasons. On the right-hand side here, you'll see what's called scheduled shares. So this is where you're going to be able to determine what articles you have scheduled to go out throughout the week, and then what times and dates they're scheduled to go out. So if you have a queue come in Monday morning with 3 or 4 articles and you click share all, you might be curious to see when those are going out. So if you come to the Your Shares page, they will all be listed out on the right-hand side here, and it will have all the dates and times when those are going out. And then another example that I want to show you, I talked about in the queue how you can click share all and it's all done automatically, or you can click share and you have the ability to edit it. So I want to click share on that quick article and show you what that share modal looks like. In the top of this part of the share modal, you'll see that I have my LinkedIn and LinkedIn and Twitter, both up here. You can see by the icons, and they both have a blue check box next to them. That means that this post will automatically be scheduled to those 2 social media platforms. I can click off on the Twitter, and you see that it's not lit, it doesn't have that checkbox anymore. So this article will now only go to LinkedIn. But if I want it to go out to both, I'll recheck it. And it looks like it's loading. While it's loading, you'll see beneath that it says add a comment. This is where you can type in your own comment about the article. So whether it was a sentence or 2 or just a couple words, that's where you have the ability to do so. And you'll see that every article that goes out will have an image, a title, and a summary.
Quick question on this screen, Mike. Are we not seeing the option to share to Facebook just because that isn't connected? And I guess follow up with you whether the comment works for Facebook as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So with the new changes to Facebook, no third party can now post directly to a Facebook account. I don't personally have any Facebook pages. If I did, it would show up right next to Twitter up here. Mm-hmm. Since I only have a Facebook account, you'll notice in the bottom that there's a share to Facebook button. Mm-hmm. So if you want to share to, and there was just, sorry, that loaded too long. If I wanted to share to my LinkedIn, Twitter, and then my Facebook, I would just click the share to Facebook button. Mm-hmm. And you'll notice that it's going to pull me directly into Facebook because that's how it needs to be shared from now on. And it's going to post the same way as it does to Twitter and LinkedIn with all the image, title, and summary. And then I could make my own post or my own comments right into Facebook and then just post to Facebook, and it will share right away. So no peak time with Facebook accounts like there is with Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook pages.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so you'll notice that button down here. That was never there up until August 1st with all the big Facebook changes. So that's just a little workaround, but it actually benefits a lot of our clients because now users can add their accounts and Facebook pages, where before they only had the ability to add their Facebook accounts.
Right on. Quick question from Samantha. She's asking, can you schedule Facebook posts in advance? And it sounds like no with the new changes to Facebook, but.
Yeah, to Facebook pages you could. To Facebook accounts, they're going to schedule out at that same exact time. For LinkedIn and Twitter, you can determine the times that those are going to go out. So if you see here on the right-hand side, I just shared a couple articles, and they showed up right here. So I can hit this little drop down and see that it's going out to my LinkedIn tomorrow at 7:46 p.m. and my Twitter at 4:43 on Thursday. I can go to this little calendar button next to scheduled shares, and it will show my entire week in a calendar version. Mm-hmm. And you can simply just click and drag and drop these into any time slot that you want to throughout the week if you want to edit them. So if there's a time-sensitive post that you need to go out before a certain time, you can just drag and drop them into any time slot.
Right. So to clarify, this screen that we're looking at only works for accounts other than Facebook, right?
Facebook, no. So if you have a Facebook page post, it will schedule out as well. Facebook accounts will just schedule as soon as you click that share to Facebook button.
I understand that distinction. So a lot of our agents are going to have pages that
Yeah.
they're bringing in, so they'll be able to make use of the scheduling.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I personally don't have a Facebook page, so it's tough for me to I'm gonna have to create one. This is kind of the first training I've had with the new Facebook change. I need to create myself a Facebook page for this example, but yeah, if I had a Facebook page, it would show up the same way that LinkedIn and Twitter do.
Yeah. Well, I'll spoil things and say all things being equal, it's likely we'll have you back on in a few months, with new updates as the platform evolves. So maybe
Yep.
we'll tackle the page then.
Yeah, yep. It's constantly evolving, so I'm always available to have quick calls and trainings. So that's never an issue.
You heard that, folks. That's recorded on the internet, so we're going to get Mike anytime we want.
Can't hide from that. All right. So also within the Your Shares page, you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, there's a little box that says paste an article to share. This gives you the ability as a user to add your own content to your social media pages. So you're going to receive cues, most likely on a weekly basis with a lot of professional content to share. But I know many of you are probably already very active on social media, sharing the content you find on your own, or sharing personal content, whether you like sharing articles about the news or a favorite sports team or, your favorite cooking show or whatever it may be. We give you the ability to share that to your own social media through Clearview Social. The reason being is because we understand, that you're going to find good content that your admins might not, be aware of. And we also know that your social media accounts have many other people outside your professional network following you, like your family and friends. So this gives you an opportunity to kind of balance your social media life and not just have all professional content. So when you're sharing content through the Your Shares page, you can only share content to your own social media. Only admins can send out cues to everyone else. So you might be worried that no one else will want to share the same content that I am. And you don't have to worry because no one else will. I pulled up an example of I went to ESPN.com because it's a nice website that's not filled with a lot of political stuff. So if I just pull up a quick random article here on ESPN and I copy this link, all you have to do is go to the Your Shares page, paste it in the top right-hand corner, and click Add. When you click Add, it's going to pull you into the same share modal that I showed you before with the social media that it's going to go out to. And, you see right here, it has the image, title, summary. I have LinkedIn and Twitter all set to go. If I wanted to share it to Facebook, I would click this button as well. I'm from Buffalo, so I'll make a quick comment. Go Bills, and then I'll share with Peak Time. And you'll see that article on the right-hand side is scheduled to go out. I can click this little drop down and see that it's scheduled to go out Wednesday to LinkedIn and Thursday to Twitter. The nice thing about sharing content, personal content through Clearview Social is a couple things. Number one, it's going to save you time from logging into LinkedIn, logging into Twitter, and logging into Facebook, because you can share to all three with one step, which is a time saver. And also we record all of the results for you, so we can see how many times people are clicking on your specific content. Any questions on the Your Shares page as far as scheduled shares and sharing your own content?
Nothing yet from the room. Folks, let them have it. If you do have any questions, feel free to use that Q&A button at the bottom or the chat. But otherwise, I think we can carry on.
Okay. You'll also see this stream of data that's right in the middle of the page. This is going to be all the content that anyone within your organization has shared, just to provide extra content for those users that might not be able to find it on their own, that want to share more than what the queue is providing. So you'll see mine is scattered with a whole bunch of different companies and stuff, because I kind of spoof into other people's orgs, but yours will all be filled with content, pretty much geared towards, other stuff that your coworkers are sharing. So, that's always there for you to reference. And then we also have this button called Browse Industry News. And this is where you as a user can actually filter through some industry feeds that we provide for you if you want to receive more information. So, we have some JD Super feeds and some Monzama feeds. So, this is the one that's JD Super about all real estate news. So if you click this feed, you can scroll through and it's all articles about real estate. So, you might be interested in going through here, reading through some of these, articles, and if it would make sense for you to share, all you do is click that share button and it will schedule to go out to your social media.
Right, so we have a quick question kind of with regards to the types of content you can share. We've been looking a lot at articles for the most part. Any options for sharing video content that you might have?
Yeah, as long as it has a link, you can share it through Clearview Social. We don't have the capability for autoplay right now, so it won't, someone has to click on the link and press play. So right now, if you post directly to some social media accounts and people are scrolling through, it'll autoplay. But if you have like a YouTube link, you can share it right to Clearview Social and it will share just like a regular article, but there will just be a play button in the middle of the image that they'll need to press.
Okay, and is there any way to do kind of like a batch scheduling process with something like a CSV, or are you just kind of scheduling individually at this point?
It would have to be one article at a time if that's the question.
That's it. That's exactly it.
But your admins can schedule out a queue with, however many articles they want to at the same time. So if you had something where you wanted to send out, a batch of 5 articles, that's basically, the purpose of a queue. So, if you have any articles that you want to go out to everyone, feel free to reach out to your admins and they can put it in the weekly queue.
All right, sounds good. And Samantha asks, will there be local sources like SF Curbed in the industry news feed?
So we have an option for you guys to add your own RSS feeds right into Clearview Social. In the industry news page on the top right-hand corner, there's an add a feed. So if you have any local, websites that you frequent that you get good content off of and they have an RSS feed, you can add it right into Clearview Social and it will show up in your own industry news section. Also, your admins can add industry news feeds right into their own content library, which is something that users won't have access to. But when they're building queues, they have the ability to pull in, feeds from certain websites that will be local to your, area and share that content as well.
Got it. And Dan confirmed in the chat that SF Curve is one of our sources in the weekly queue, so we're good to go there.
All right, perfect. All right, so moving on here to the last screen before we get this wrapped up is the results page. So every single user will have their own results page. Essentially, you're going to have your image. You're going to see where you rank within your organization. You're going to be able to see how many shares you've ever had through Clearview Social and how many clicks you've gotten on those shares. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to be able to see your social score, which is how we rank individuals within Clearview Social. And what I mean by rank, as you see in the top right-hand corner, we also have what we call a leaderboard. So the leaderboard is going to have a list of every employee that works in your organization that's signed up through Clearview Social, and you'll be able to see all of their results as well. So you could see their name, how many shared articles they have, how many clicks they've gotten, and how much earned media value they've gotten. And then you'll see social score. So it's a great way to keep everyone competitive, especially if you don't want to come in last place or you don't want to be losing to your one of your coworkers. This is a great place to go just to kind of scope out where you stand within social media. You can filter this by specific group or by all time. You'll notice here that the owner of our company, Adrian Dayton, he is well above all of us as far as social score points. He's got a great social media presence, so it kind of gives us something to shoot for as individual users to try to catch up to Adrian each month. So you'll notice pretty quickly within your organization who your super users are going to be. So it'll give you something to shoot for on a weekly basis and monthly basis. I have a question about earned media value. So earned media value is a statistic that we provide that shows how much money you would need to pay for the amount of attention you're getting on social media. So we have an AI integration with Amazon that will kind of determine how popular or if an article you're sharing is trending by pulling out keywords. So at any given post, depending on how many clicks you've gotten, we can determine how much money your organization would have had to spend if you were using what we call pay-per-click advertising, which you might not be using, but it just gives a kind of a ballpark on how much money it would have cost to have that same amount of attraction.
Great, thanks for that explanation. Now, we've been looking at the desktop version this whole time. Does any of this work on mobile devices?
We have it on our roadmap right now to have an app done by the end of this year. It does work pretty well on mobile. We don't have an app, but if you go to Clearview Social, our development team has done a pretty good job of making it as mobile friendly as possible without having an actual app.
Great. Yeah, and that's we're seeing that a lot with progressive web apps in general. It's certainly a common trend. So, sorry, we aren't set up to show the mobile version today, but it sounds like most of the features are going to be accessible as long as you're willing to, kind of do some swiping and pinching and so
Yeah,
forth.
yeah, it's pretty good. I will say we understand the importance of the mobile app, and it's on the roadmap to be done this year.
Mm-hmm. And Charlie's asking, does this only work with articles? What if we want to post a pic with a comment?
Yeah, Charlie, that's a great question and a pretty common question. The reason why shares through Clearview Social have to have a link is because with the results we provide, there needs to be an actionable item for someone to take on social media. So if it's just an image, there's nothing that we can track as far as results. There is certain workarounds. So if you wanted to share just a picture with a comment, you can do so, but what you need to do is, what I tell a lot of my clients is, just go to your website and take that link and use that as the link, because then you can still provide your image and your comment and it will still draw traffic back to your website. Or if you have like a personal bio page on your website, you can use that link and then, add your image and comment. And then it's going to draw traffic back to your personal page on your, your company's website. So that would be the main workaround that I would tell you guys if you have just an image or a comment that you wanted to get out on social media.
Okay, great. That was a really good question, Charlie. I'm sure a lot of other folks would definitely have that. We are coming up on time shortly, so I want to get last questions in for Mike. We do have this coming in from YouTube. Are we able to see who clicks on content? Is there any kind of tracking beyond the
Yes.
MBE?
Yeah, another great question. So on the results page, if you scroll down under your image, you'll see a list of all of the articles that you've shared, and you can see how many clicks they've all gotten. And then we have a find out who button. So this won't always give you actual individuals who are clicking, but a lot of the times you can see a list of some companies that are clicking on your material. The issue with the find out who is that, you can see that I have 58 clicks, but I only have, 4 different companies that I can see that clicked on it. A lot of people hide behind firewalls. We can't always provide all 58, but we do provide as many as we can capture based on their IP addresses that they don't have hidden.
Awesome, great. So clearly there's good amount to dig into. So we will save that for another session. This is kind of meant as kind of an overview. So before we wrap up, I do want to cover some tips and tricks, really all things that Mike has mentioned, but I just want to kind of bring them up as kind of good habits to have when you're using the platform. First one, include your own comment in the share, and this is ripped right from your awesome video on the Clearview Social channel. Basically, adding your own comment, your own take on the content that you're sharing really increases engagement. So that's something that you always want to be doing. Like and comment on your connection shares. This is another huge one just for growing your network. It's kind of a give to get situation. So as you're, if you want to kind of generate engagement on your own page, make sure that you're taking the time throughout your day, looking at your feed, liking and commenting, basically interacting with your connections online. Share a variety of content, so business, news, and personal stuff. Another thing Mike mentioned that's beyond the content that you'll be automatically suggested from Zephyr, and that'll be both for SF and Marin. You have that ability to share anything that has a URL. So in Charlie's example, if you want to share a photo or you have some other bit of content that you want to share, as long as it has an address right there at the top of your screen, you can basically schedule a post around it. So feel free to kind of get creative with that. Always be aware of what you share, and that sounds kind of obvious, but it really is good, because what's going to happen is you're inevitably going to share some content, and someone's going to have a question or want to have a deeper discussion about the content. So being informed about it, knowing that what you're sharing before you send it out to your network, certainly in your best interest. And there's a guideline here to don't share more than 3 times per day, and this is really a suggestion around volume. You want to make sure that your message is pretty clear and not kind of overwhelming the news feed. So that seems to be a pretty healthy guideline.
Yeah, and on that,
Mike? Yeah.
Yeah, on that note about not sharing, too many times a day, the peak time, sharing with peak time will pretty much take care of that on its own. It will schedule out, throughout the week. But, sometimes, organizations that we work with offer an incentive, for the top three, people at the top of the leaderboard each month or quarter. So, that's not to encourage everyone to just kind of go crazy and share a ton of content just to get to the top of the leaderboard to get a gift certificate. So, if that's the case, try to share content that's relevant to, your firm and not go too crazy on that. But I just want to mention that peak time will eliminate sharing too much content in the same day.
Great. I think that is wise. Good advice. Just have some good sense about kind of managing your own volume. Don't want to kind of overwhelm your base there. And with that, one more question from Charlie, just to confirm, there is no cost to you. If you're a Zephyr agent and want to get started, send an email to marketing@zephyrre.com, and they'll reply with a link for you to log into the Clearview Social dashboard, and you can get started with scheduling posts, and the content is just going to start flowing through there as pretty much effective immediately here. So be on the lookout for that.
There's no additional cost. You guys have a subscription for unlimited users. If anybody has not logged in, I know we uploaded 71 users originally. I think we have about 24 that have logged in. Reach out to Dan if you didn't see that email come across, and I can resend it. And then also just something to note for all the users that it's something very handy. There's a little blue chat bubble in the bottom right-hand corner of Clearview Social. It's a live interactive chat with our team, our development team, and our client success team. It's available for admins and users. So feel free to, anytime you have a question, you forgot to how to share content to your own social media, or you want to get a page connected, type into that blue chat bubble. We respond almost immediately. So, take advantage of that. And then if you have any more important questions, bubble it up to Dan and he can reach out to me directly. And, I'm always available to set up a quick call to walk you through it.
Fantastic. Well, I have a takeaway. I've got a resource. I don't have to bug Mike right away when I have my first question about Clearview. So that I'm sure you're happy about that, Mike. But we do appreciate you coming on today. It's taking us through the platform, and we definitely want to see you back here when it makes sense. When the platform changes, new features roll out, come on back, and we'd love to have you.
Definitely. And like I said, thank you guys all for taking the time. I'm excited to see you guys start using it. Keep an eye out for those emails that come through from your admins. They're going to be taking a lot of time on the back end to help you guys improve your social media presence. So, take a couple seconds out of your week just to, click that share all button or share, and you guys will be impressed with this, the results that you guys start to get in on social media. So thank you.
Thank you again. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to the live stream. A quick question from Pam. Can we use links directly from InkSwitch? Answer there is yes, it's a URL. So if it's a URL, you can share it. So that will definitely work. Just thought I'd squeeze that in real quick. Well, Mike, thanks again. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.